All right, CJ, your word of the day is pillage.
Pillage.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Pillaged some pizza last night.
What? Did you really?
Yeah. Pizza was on the brain, so I had to go get some.
Yeah, we were supposed to have a pizza party, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, it didn't happen, so I was like, well, no, my mind is already made up to get some pizza. So pillage some pizza.
I have a story, but 1 second. Hey! Welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your hosts, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ.
Hi, CJ.
This is the show where we talk over TV shows and movies, and this week we are talking about the Northman. Just the boys this week.
Just the boys.
Just the boys this week.
What's your story?
So, I mean, it's not fun. It's not a good story, but we were supposed to do a pizza party, and that didn't happen. And so instead, at time of recording, it was Shark Week. And so they have a promotion at Sonic where you can get this Shark Week slushie. And it looks really cool. It's got little shark gummies on it, and it's like a blue slushie with like red strawberry like floating at the top, so it looks like blood. So we drove all the way down to a Sonic, which there's none near us for some reason.
Yeah. I was going to say, isn't that like a 40-minute drive or something?
It was like a 20-minute drive.
Oh, okay.
So not too bad, but still not short. And we drove out there, and there's still like 2 days left in Shark Week. And they said, no, sorry, the promotion's ended. As soon as we ordered it, and we're like, fuck, we drove here specifically for this slushie.
Also, how does the promotion? It's called Shark Week. Have the promotion go the full week.
Seriously, it was still showing on the screen and everything too. I don't know. Maybe they ran out of the gummies or something. I don't know. But
yeah, ran out of the syrup that they add or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm just lazy.
Bullshit.
Like, no, it's over. We just don't want to make that. It's a pain.
All right. Well, my promotion of purchasing stuff here is over then. So
I don't really like. I get the gummies are like a fun, but it always seems weird to add gummies to something cold because then they're not really gummy.
Hard, right?
Yeah. Like there's ice cream with the gummy worms in it, and then you're just like gnawing on those worms for a half hour because they're like solid now. It's like, this isn't a good idea.
No, that's one issue I have. Well, first of all, I don't like gummies, but I don't like mixing weird consistencies together. Like that's why I don't like boba tea because I don't want to be chewing my tea.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm not a fan of pulp in orange juice because I don't want chunks in my liquid.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
You expect one texture, and then when you get something else, it's like, fuck.
Yeah. It's like, what is this? Gross.
Something's wrong. Something's very wrong.
I also don't know, I admit to not knowing, but I can't imagine. Maybe there's extra fiber in the pulp or something like that, but I don't think it's like even any more nutritious that much or, I don't know. It just doesn't seem worth it. No pulp for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it's, something with fiber, or maybe there is something that's not wringed out of it by just juicing it. But
yeah, what about like ice cream add-ons, like getting chunks of brownie in there? Is that still a weird texture thing, or that's fine because it's a little gooey?
I think that's okay with ice cream because you're already kind of chewing or whatever. Mm-hmm. But in a shake, that's different. Like I don't like cake shakes because I don't want to be chewing that.
That immediately came to mind. Well, also then they're like cake shake. They give you a straw and they're like, "Good luck." It's like, the straw is not going to work. Like the chunk is just going to get lodged in there.
Twice the diameter, please.
Yeah, exactly. You need like a 2-inch diameter metal straw for those to actually work.
Right. Oh, man, my lungs and sucking power need to be quadrupled. No, thank you.
Cake shaking forever.
Ugh,
I forget that there's one nearby that they open a Portillo's like not too far from here, and I don't really ever take advantage of it. It's almost it's a game time decision of like coming back from the suburbs, and we're like, it's around dinner time. Let's just get Portillo's because we literally like get off at that
the highway, right? Yeah,
yeah, but not so much in the new place. I don't think we'll be passing it anymore. Oh man, Ken, now I want Portillo's. This isn't good. I haven't had lunch.
They'll deliver it to you.
This is like a lunch record. But I have leftover pizza. I was gonna have that.
You need a break from pizza. You need some Portillo's.
Do I?
Yeah. You'd have pizza for dinner. Or swap that and have Portillo's for dinner.
Portillo's and pizza in one day? What am I, a maniac?
It's the weekend. Enjoy it.
It's the weekend. It's the freaking weekend, baby. I'm about to have me some fun.
Mm-hmm. And you know who else had some fun in this movie? It was the Northman.
Segway!
He had a great time. We're going to talk about the Northman and more coming up on the Overtalking Podcast.
I don't think they had any fun.
No, not really.
Mother! Father is here!
The king, my lady. The king.
One day this kingdom will be yours.
Thank you, father. My king.
I can feel now. I will avenge you, father! I will save you, mother! I will kill you, Fiona!
I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, Fiona.
And we're back on the Overtalking Podcast. And it's just the boys this week. In case you missed it, it's just the boys. And we're talking about the Northman.
A lot of boys in this.
There are a lot of boys, yeah. Mostly boys, couple women, but...
Ken, I'm going to put 30 seconds on the clock for you to describe the movie for someone who's never seen it before. Ready, go.
Robert Eggers' film, if you know him, A24, Darling. It's olden times. Oh, shit. I'm almost halfway done. Anyway, this one dude, his father is killed by his uncle, his father was a king, so his uncle took over. And so he's supposed to be the king, and he runs away. And he comes back as like a big, beefy man, and he's seeking revenge.
What?
That's basically it.
He's a big, beefy man.
He's a big, beefy man. Big, beefy wolf man.
I don't know that I would say he ran away. He was going to get murdered. He escaped. he
ran away with like a little puppy dog.
That was like, man, yeah, like sociopathic tendencies of him rowing his boat, going like, I will avenge you, mother. I will avenge you, father. I will save you, mother. I will kill you, uncle guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but just over and over again.
Yeah.
As like a 10-year-old or something like that. How old do you think he was when that happened?
Yeah, probably 10.
I have no gauge for kid ages.
I don't either.
Maybe he could be 15. He could be 8.
He was a baby.
Yeah.
He just crawled away.
A little blonde baby
amazing.
boy.
He could row the boat. That was intense. That's how the movie opens. And also, there's trippy shit. I missed that in the summary.
Willem Dafoe.
Lots of trippy shit.
Makes them take like an acid trip, essentially, and they start barking like wolves and running around. And there's a big fart in the movie, which is like, okay, interesting choice. They let one rip.
Yeah. Before we go too far down the plot, the reason we're doing this is because, CJ, you mentioned that you just on a whim had started watching The Northman, which was odd to me because Robert Eggers is more of a horror guy, and this movie it's more genre than horror, but still, I'm surprised. Why did you want to watch this movie?
Yeah, good question. This is, I do not really, I've not been watching many movies like this basically since the pandemic. Like I just like mentally and emotionally cannot handle two serious things. And this movie is intense, but I sort of heard, I think I watched the main actor's interview on Colbert, and they were talking about how it sticks pretty true to the Norse mythology and that sort of stuff. And I love that sort of mythology. I was really big into like Greek and Roman mythology as a kid. I love playing some Age of Mythology game on my PC. Great game. And so I was like, I'll give this a shot if they're going to like incorporate gods and Valkyries and stuff like that. Was a little disappointed now having seen it. I wish there was more of that stuff. I thought there was going to be more. They sort of promoted it as if there was going to be more of that stuff. But I don't know. I also like to throw something on while I work out. So it's like, I can focus on this. And that's how I sort of knock out movies that I'm like half interested in, but don't want to like sit down and devote my full attention to it, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, I don't know, maybe a Justin Bieber documentary or things of that nature.
Yeah. Now, did you watch this one at 2x speed or?
No, I did not.
Normal speed. Okay.
Because again, Plex, get on it, Plex. You don't have that option. I did watch, though. I finished The Gray Man on Netflix yesterday.
Oh, yeah. How was that?
It was fun. It's nothing amazing, but yeah, it's a fun action movie. That one I did watch at 1.25 speed, I think, the entire time.
Okay. So Netflix has that feature, too? I've never looked for this feature, honestly. I'm surprised
Netflix has it. I should say Netflix has it on the app and on the web version. So like on your iPad, and if you just go to like netflix.com, it'll work. But if you're...
But not like on your console or TV or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If it's on your TV, I don't think they let you do it. Which is weird, because, like, why, if it's all the same, like, I don't know.
I wonder what would happen if you cast it from your phone to the
I tried
TV.
that.
Could
It
you
doesn't
still
work.
do that? Doesn't
No.
work? Shit.
Yeah.
All right.
I tried that. But I will say it was fun. The Gray Man has some pretty fun fight scenes, and especially at 1.25 the speed, they look super cool. They're hitting super fast and dodging and stuff like that.
It's like it's literally like a kung fu movie because that's what they do. So,
Yes.
Yeah. That's nice.
And I know, I was talking to you and a friend of the show, Zach from the Have To podcast, about like there were cool shots. And I had only watched a few minutes when we were talking about it, but now having seen it, it was like, oh, they just are really into drones. That's what these shots are. It's just like, but they are cool. Like I give them credit for it of like trying something new. There are some really cool action scenes and car chases and stuff like that. So I'd say it's a recommend on like a lazy Sunday or something like that. It's not amazing, but it's fun.
I'm sure they threw enough money at it that it's got to be at least somewhat worthwhile, hopefully.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was a good time.
Well, speaking of a lot of money being thrown at a movie, we watched The Northman still. One thing that when we were talking to Zach, we were talking a lot about Zach, and it would have been great if Zach could have come on this podcast to talk about this movie with us. But,
Has he seen it?
I don't know, but he could have watched it for this. Anyway, he had facts about it. He must have seen it. He said that all of the sets were built using tools that would have been available at the time.
Yeah.
Which is wild to me because there's some pretty elaborate like villages and stuff that are there.
Yeah, they basically create these huts in hills so that it's like the roof is just sort of the grass mound of the hill. Yeah, I thought that was a super cool fact. I also tried, again, per Zach's recommendation, I listened to the Marin episode with the director, and I still can't get super on board with Mark Maron's podcast. Yeah. He's still like, there was a part where Robert Eggers flat out had to be like, well, no, that's not true. Like Maron was trying to like apply something, and he kind of had to be like, well, no, that's just wrong, actually. So
I feel like if you have a podcast for a certain amount of time, it become like egocentric, right? Because it's all about you. Mm-hmm. And is that becoming us?
Yes.
I think if we were able to get people like Barack Obama, maybe we could get there. But
we're better than him. And I always fast forward through the first 10 minutes where it is just Marin talking to himself. I'm like, not interested. Fast forward.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't listen to him either. A little too much for me.
Yeah, I don't get it. Just interrupts his guests a lot. I'm sure we do that as well. But like to ask a question.
Yeah, but it's in our title at least, so it's okay.
Right, it's on brand for us. We're allowed.
Yeah. Right.
He's not allowed to.
No.
He'll ask the guest a question. They get 3 words into the answer, and he interrupts them. It's like, well, then why did you ask the question if you're not?
That wasn't the answer I was expecting. Let me tell you what I want you to be saying.
Yeah, exactly. I don't get it.
God.
I also wish there were more Willem Dafoe in this, bringing it back.
Yeah,
I liked his character.
He was in it for like one jest at the beginning, which was great. And then he was in it for the like King Rights scene, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then he's just a spoiler alert. He's just a head after that. And then not like a talking head, or at least not directly.
Just he died, and another sort of like witch man kept his head to use in ceremonies.
Oh God. That scene was funny to me. I don't know why, but the scene he's literally the Northman is the titular Northman. The titular Northman is a big boy now, and he is talking to the witch guy who has the head of Willem Dafoe, and he's learning about like where the sword that he's supposed to get is. Yeah, and he's like, I got this dude's head. And I put his eyes and tongue back in, but not ears. You're gonna have to talk to me through for. I was like, that's pretty funny. That's a good one.
That's a funny joke. Yeah, that witch guy was having a good time. I think he was enjoying himself.
Yeah, he's just in a cave, just chilling.
He's really one with his career. He likes his job.
Yeah. I could freak this dude out and watch this.
I wish there were more of those like The trippy scene was, I don't know that I need more of that, but more of the, so he fights this like undead soldier person to get the sword. I sort of wish there were more of those little like quests, if you will.
Yeah. They set that up even earlier on with a female witch. Mm-hmm. That he was supposed to get a sword, then he's gonna fight the uncle by a lake of fire, which right away is a volcano. And I was like, oh, cool, yeah, I want more quests. I want him to go get a shield. I want this to be basically Zelda the movie.
Right,
the sword was cool, but at the same time, like, he didn't have to go far. Like, the sword was just right there.
Yeah.
In a hill that he somehow climbed into.
Yeah, very conveniently located of like, oh yeah, it's just like a 5-minute walk. You stroll through some flower beds over there and you can grab it. Yeah. It's like, oh,
and the,
okay.
The guy even gave him the rope to get into it too. So it was just, here's everything you need to get the sword.
Yeah, should take you like 10 minutes.
Yeah. It's quick
You'll be back by breakfast. No problem. Yeah, I will give him credit though, because that's pretty early on in the movie still. And he's like found the uncle, so he's there. He's at the where he needs to be to like achieve his life goal. Mm-hmm. And he got the sword, and I was like, oh, well, the movie can't end. He's not gonna like kill him now. We're like 20 minutes into the movie.
Yeah.
So I like sort of liked that he was like, oh no, I have to fulfill my destiny, or basically do what that other witch said, which is to fight him at the gates of hell. But then, and then I was like, okay, well then what's the next hour of this movie going to be if you've already like done the thing and have the things you need?
And the next hour of the movie is basically the Northman and his lady friend pranking the whole village. That's pretty much it.
Some intense pranks
resulting in deaths.
But he's a regular George Clooney on that hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, Was that her doing that? I don't know that I'm clear on how that stuff was happening.
Yeah, some of the earlier stuff I wasn't sure. One thing that clearly she was involved in was when she spiked their food that one night. She put like some mushrooms into their soup or whatever, and that caused everyone to freak the fuck out.
Oh, that's right. Because they make a point of saying that she's been moved to like kitchen duty.
Right, yeah.
Got
it. They literally show her putting it in the soup too.
Okay. That makes sense. But then, like one night, all the dogs all of a sudden start attacking everybody.
Somehow they got, just by him howling outside, he got the uncle's dog to attack him. I don't understand how that worked, but okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And then when they start to lose their mind, you're right. That's from the like mushroom soup that they're ingesting. Yeah. Got it. Okay.
Which seems like overkill. I feel like he could have just killed the dude, right? But,
especially because like he literally just charges at everybody, and you're like, oh right, I don't think any of them have like bow and arrows. It is just a pointy thing on a stick. Like it does have to be close combat.
Right.
So he can just be like, all right, come at me. I'm better than you. Like,
and you got this sweet like holy sword now.
Right.
But later on in the movie, when he finally is like, okay, fucking come at me, bro.
And then he loses.
He loses because he doesn't even take the sword out of the scabbard the whole time. And he's got this sweet sword. He doesn't even use it.
Yeah. I was also confused by that. It felt like he sort of let himself get captured. I don't know. Yeah. Early in the movie, we saw that this guy can take on anybody. And then now all of a sudden, like 3 people outpowered him, or like, I don't know.
I don't know either. Also, let's talk about his lady friend for a second. So he, at some point earlier on in the movie, he gets captured or joins a group of slaves, basically, in order to get into the, encampment or whatever that his uncle is leading. Mm-hmm. And one of the other slaves is this fair-haired maiden who you may know from Queen's Gambit. Uh-huh. And I don't know if she's somehow in tune with the earth or whatever, but they end up hooking up several times. And at one point, she gets caught on her neck, and he kisses it for whatever reason and tastes her blood, and then has a vision that she's apparently pregnant with twins of his or something like that. Is that what you got out of that?
Yeah, it shows the like, what do they call it? The
king tree or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So throughout the movie, we see visions of this tree I know it comes up even in like the Thor comics that it's like the all father tree or tree of life or something like that. But yeah. And then, and it shows he has a vision of like 2 boys and this sword that he's found will protect them. But yeah, I was still a little confused on what parts were like in these, I don't know what to call it, other, not dimensions, but like he rides up into Valhalla, I assume.
At the very end of the movie, right?
Well, but it happened before too. Like we see, that's how he meets up with her originally, and they get on that boat that he then jumps off and is like, no, he's gonna hunt you forever.
Oh, I missed that.
Oh, yeah. When he like first gets captured, when they basically escape, it's like it's the same as the ending. He gets put on the horse, flies up to like Valhalla, and then he's like, "No, he'll never stop hunting us. I got to go back and kill him once and for all." She's like, "No, don't do that." And then he goes back down, and then they fight, and then at the end of the movie, he rides again up to Valhalla. That he's like actually dead from the gates. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple of things in this movie that make you think about like what's real or not, because talking about his mother, so when his father is killed, the whole town is being ransacked by his uncle and his followers, and we see his mother being carried off, and I swear to God she was screaming. I remember her screaming. I thought
so too, yeah.
And so, as CJ said, he's eventually rolling away saying, "I will save you, mother," and a couple other things. And so, one of his quests is to rescue his mother from his horrible uncle who killed his father. Mm-hmm. And so he approaches her at one point and he's like, "I'm your son." And she reveals that she never loved his father, that he himself was thrust upon her. That's awful. In a way that she did not want, and that she really always loved the uncle the whole time, and that night she was laughing that the uncle had overthrown his father. Sorry.
Yeah. She revealed that she was a slave essentially because she had the like burn mark.
She was a slave that the king just took as his own.
Yeah. So then she starts fighting her own son. She's like, "No, fuck you. I actually hate you guys."
Yeah.
And then he has to kill her.
Has to kill her. But yeah, like, is that supposed to fuck with your heads? Like, was she really laughing in that scene earlier? I
don't know. I guess it's plausible enough, but yeah, because they have to make it seem like that, so then it is sort of a big reveal when she does say that's like, "Oh yeah," because we thought you were in distress this entire time. So then I don't know, helps the movie, but.
I guess.
I'm with you.
I wonder if it's supposed to be like just from his perspective, she was screaming, so that's what we were shown. But in reality, maybe she wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah,
this movie makes you think a little bit. Come on, Robert Eggers.
And speaking of what we think about the movie,
Segway.
Should we get
Is it time for ratings? Yeah, let's do it. It's ratings time. CJ, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the Northman for you?
For me, even after discussing all this, though, I did like it overall. It was entertaining. It was cool. Like I said, I don't watch a ton of like these very sort of intense genre movies these days, but it was an interesting story. I wasn't like bored or anything like that. So yeah, it was a fine movie. I think I'll give it a 7 overall. Kind of it was a good time. Nothing amazing for me personally, but definitely not bad. It's cool. How about you?
That's pretty good. For me, I do watch a lot of these all the time, but this is very good. And this is one I've been meaning to watch. So thank you, CJ, for bringing it up, because then I was like, oh, I'm going to watch it anyway. And yeah, it was really good. Great acting, really cool set pieces. Story was cool. One thing we didn't touch on as much was there wasn't a whole lot of the like mythology stuff that we were hoping for.
Yeah,
like, Valkyries didn't really come up that much. They mentioned them, but
and I get that, like, maybe that's my own fault, right? Like, I had the wrong expectations for it, which I know like can completely alter how you see the movie and rate it.
Sure.
So, but yeah,
I would have loved to see that, especially having played God of War recently, which takes place in similar mythology, where you get to fight Valkyries and die because they're too hard. That would have been cool to see, but still, it was great. I liked it overall. The twists were good as well. I'm going to give it an 8. I liked it a lot. Yeah.
Solid.
Very solid.
It makes me just want to play Age of Mythology more, and I'm probably going to check to see if there's an updated version of that game. Maybe they came out with a second one, and I just don't know.
Okay. Probably.
Yeah.
That seems like something that would happen.
Because that you get to have god powers. You can choose to be Zeus, and then you get a lightning strike and stuff like that.
Dude, you should play God of War.
I should.
You
It does seem pretty fun.
fight Zeus and other mythological creatures. Anyway, that's basically it. Where can people find us, CJ?
You can follow us on all the things at Overtalking Pod. Call or text us at USACat1591. Email us at overtalkingpod@gmail.com. Go to our website, overtalkingpod.party.
Oh, no, they're here. The Overtalking Overlords have arrived. They're our ghastly otherworldly landlords who remind me to remind you, if you like the show, please go on iTunes and rate and especially review. Reviews will help people find this podcast. Also, we spend it on money and advertising, so if you like the show, please tell a friend and spread the word. We really appreciate it. Thank you. And when I say iTunes, I mean Apple Podcast.
Right. Everybody knows that, right?
Hopefully.
They get it.
Yeah.
And as we always say, this is Vikings! Bye.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ. Edited by CJ. Music by Justin Peters. Logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram at Nate Richards Designs.